Bayabe, welcome to salum.the.conlang YouTube channel. I'm Salum, a conlanger who got codes from his younger sister. Recently, I was thinking about how would a language of God look like. This idea came from a YouTuber video in that a Chinese YouTuber explaining a theory that the language of God is a combination of language and music. This idea interested me and makes me imagine what would a God's language sound like, look like, or be like. And why not we just create a conlang of God, like a reconstruction of God's language? Do some divine history linguistics? Yeah, feel like. Also, I think it's fun to share how I create a conlang and want you to join this journey of making a language with me. Therefore, I was asking the followers on my Instagram account. Oh yeah, if you haven't followed my Instagram already, please go check. The account is salum.the.conlang. You can see my whole project of the language of Salum back then. Because I want to do this project with all the followers and conlang friends, so I asked them if they had some idea about a language of God. So that is it. Also, if you want to tell me your idea, you can DM me on Instagram or just comment below. I will read them. Well, let's talk about phonology first. According to our explanation, our proposed God's language might be a combination of music and language. Also, in many religions, said the people that God's speech is like singing. So obviously, we can conclude that God's language is a tonal language. But for tonal language, we must think, was that born in tonal or just because the sound change like consonant laws like in Sino-Tibetan languages? Then the tones exist. One of my conlang friends said that some changes and dialect won't happen because God is beyond time and space. Okay, so God's language responds in tonal. But which tones should we involve into God's language? First, we should clarify how many levels of pitches do this language have. Back to think about music. Our music is created with 7 tones scale: do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si. So, if God's language is like music or singing, it might have 7 levels, that is but it's too intensive. The differences between tones weren't clear in speech flow. Do we have a more economic scale? Try pentatonic scale. Also, in some tribal culture, people use tetratonic scale. Well, it's pretty good, but for speaking, tetratonic scale is still hard to distinguish the differences. In many tonal languages, we use 3 levels: low, middle, and high. For example, in Mandarin, or in Thai, 3 levels are perfect. It's economic and distinguishable. Yeah, maybe gods can distinguish 4 scales, but hey, In many religions, people said that God made people using himself as a model, so what we can't do, God can't do too. Okay, so we have 3 levels of tones. I would write them like that: and as a romanization. For low level, for middle, and for high. But how would the tones actually lie? The levels describe to us which kind of pictures does this language distinguish. They are still not tones. Well, it's a little difficult for me to decide because now the levels seem to be notes in music. If we change them into tones, for example, rising or falling, it will destroy the musicality of the syllables. For example, and change into Therefore, to receive the musicality rhythm and to make the speech more like melodies, I would rather don't add more tones, but use synthy to make it more realistic. For example, when high to middle or low, it becomes a falling. When middle to high becomes a rising. Etc. Another question that we can figure out now is the vowel length. Would a language of God contain long vowels? Back to music first. In music, we have eighth notes, quarter note, and half note to make rhythm. So, if a God's language is like music, it seems to have at least 3 lengths: long, neutral, and short. I will represent the long vowel with double vowels like single vowel for neutral, and a dot for short. Because the short vowels are too short to do tones, so they won't be marked by tones like Mandarin's 5th tone. What we can do more is the syllable construction. As my conlang friend Ken Chu said, the language of God should be powerful and warm. Also, as we talked before, it should also be musical. It reminds me Italian, whose words are all ended with vowel. This structure makes it easier for singing. Let's take a look on these words from German: schlecht, and Italian: cattivo, cattivo. Therefore, in the language of God, it seems more words ended with vowels, but is there any consonant also allowed in coda? The sonorants can also have the same functions like vowels, like l, r, n, and n. When people pronouncing them, the airway would be opened without blocked. Let's try them and see which sonorant is best for our purpose. Sol, sol, som, son. By liquids l and r, you can still hear the broad sound from the tongue, so it seems that the nasals are better. So we can write down our syllable structure now: consonant, vowel, and nasal. The next question is, are there diphthongs or triphthongs in this language? As we talked before, it's melody-like, warm, and powerful. It seems to have many diphthongs or triphthongs. For example, I, oh, is very in spirit. They are very. Also, for me, the language of God should be very balanced. So I will use vowel harmony in this, but it's another story. The next video we are talking about consonants, which is hard to reconstruct by literatures. Which consonants do the language of God have? If you have any ideas, you can let below in comments or follow my Instagram salum.the.conlang to discuss more about your ideas. And yeah, I'm Sarun and Alice.